Hello, fellow artists. Here we go with the fall watercolor leaves. This is so fun to do, and it is such great practice too, because it's a leaf. It doesn't have to be perfect, and you can just play with your colors, see how they mix, and just this is all about having fun. So what I'm using are Winsor Newton Professional Watercolors, Daniel Smith, and this is I'm pretty sure it's cadmium yellow, but any yellow will do. And then I'm adding some burnt sienna and some burnt umber right there. What I'm doing is right there is called charging, where you just kind of drop in some pigment. Now I'm painting, but you can probably tell that this is wet on wet. This is cold pressed watercolor paper. So what I did was wet the paper first, then I dropped in the pigment. Now that's the first layer. So while that dries and while it's still a little damp, I'm using a watercolor pencil to get the vein and the stem of the leaf. Now the fun part of this blue, this was a really fun blue. I ended up using quite a few different blues here. So really any blue that you have, and then I outlined it with Payne's Gray. Payne's Gray is just a great color to create deeper values for a blue. Now I'm using the Payne's Gray for the stem and the veins. And again, this is wet on wet. So the paper is still pretty wet there, and it got a little too blue for me. So what I'm doing is actually dropping in some Payne's Gray to darken it up. And it was really wet when I did that. So you can see on the left how the pigment spread out there, that blue. So I'm just gonna let that dry. And while that's drying and the yellow one is pretty much dry, I'm going to the green. Now I did wet the paper just a little bit, not too much, because I didn't want to reactivate the reddish pink one next to it. Adding a little purple here, so fun. If you are enjoying this video, please hit that like button. It really helps my channel so I can bring you some great new videos. Now you can see I'm kind of jumping around. I jumped back over to the yellow leaf on the left while I let the some Scarlet Lake, quinacridone red I did a lot of, and then alizarin crimson. So kind of all the deep reds. There's some gold, yellowish gold colors in there. And now when you do watercolors, they dry about 50% lighter. So you kind of have to really, don't be afraid to go dark with your pigment. Although these are pretty dark leaves, you may want to go lighter. But this is a pretty dark value, these leaves. They're not light at all. Now the blue was just too blue, so I said, you know what? I'm just going to drop in some purple in there, and I really like what happened. Now it's drying, and what I did was I put it down, let it dry naturally. I kind of like it when the paper dries naturally. Then I use some kind of a turquoise blue, dabbing them with just a little water. But there you go. I did some splash effects and we got some fun fall leaves. This was really about practice and a great study. Go to patreon.com/mollysfineart to watch the full video and so much more. Thank you for watching.